All right.
Sorry,
Welcome.
I'm still choking.
Please don't. All right. We got some people jumping in. As usual, I always like to test out our chat and make sure that everything is working well. So if you can hear me, please drop in the chat what kind of business you run. I'd like to see the variety of business owners and and managers that we have here. And I'm going to continue to let people in from the waiting room. Okay. It's always like the suspense for the first one. Dance. All right. Another dance. Love it.
I'm
All
still
right.
choking, which is why I put myself on mute. Sorry. I
All
think
good.
I'm good now.
If you notice, today is set up as a meeting instead of a webinar. So that means if you are so compelled, you can show us your lovely faces. That does help us know if we're keeping you engaged or not. But no pressure. If it were a normal day, I would not look this nice, so I completely understand. Also, just feel free to unmute yourself if we have a pause and you want to jump in and ask a question. Otherwise, try to keep yourself muted so that we can keep the background noise down and keep distractions low. We're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to try to keep my eye on this waiting room in case we have some more people joining as they can. So, all right. If you were not here earlier this summer, we did a really successful panel. So this time we decided to do it again a little differently and make it more interactive with some crowdsourced questions. So some of you submitted questions ahead of time, and we're going to start off with those before taking questions from the crowd that is here. You'll also notice that you have a couple Jackrabbit faces, and then we also have a client on our panel today to give another perspective. So same kind of concept, just making it a little bit more interesting this time around. Quick housekeeping in case you're just joining, this is a meeting. So if you want to turn on your camera and show your face, you certainly can, but it is not required. If you will stay muted unless you're ready to ask a question, that will just help with any distractions. This session is being recorded, so we will send out a copy of the recording within 48 hours. Sometime sooner, but we like to have that little buffer so we can get everything squared away. You can rewatch it, you can share it with a colleague, or if you weren't able to join us live, hopefully you're seeing this in your inbox later. Feel free to utilize the chat to engage with us and other panelists throughout the session. If you do have a question that you specifically want answered, I believe I don't see a separate, oh, there is a separate Q&A, so you can drop those in there too. We'll also try to find any that we can in the chat, but if they're in the Q&A, they're much easier to find. So, before we jump in to introductions, I would like to launch a very quick poll um, to just get your thoughts and feelings on third-party payments. So hopefully you see this on your screen. We just like to know, how much frustration do you experience processing third-party payments? It's a headache, it's a breeze, or maybe you're not processing yet at all. So I'm going to just leave this open for a little bit. I've seen one person answer. I'd like to get a couple more. Please let me know if you can't see it.
I want to be Elizabeth. I want to be driving down the street with a beautiful blue sky.
Her weather looks phenomenal here.
Fabulous.
Hey, Libby.
I love it. I love it when our clients know each other and can network like that. So, anyone else? We got a shy group today. All right. So, we've got one person that says it's a breeze. But hopefully, we're going to talk about some things today that you will find beneficial to your business as it relates to payment processing.
That phone is me in the background. Sorry, I'm in my teacher's lounge. So
No, you're good. We didn't even hear it. So,
Hear it.
Moving on to the stars of today's show. So I'm really thrilled and honored to introduce this panel and be here with you guys today. Starting off with Urena Jones. She's the Director of Client Success, and her team does an excellent job of supporting our clients who are exploring Jackrabbit Pay, but her team also takes care of all of our clients that use all of our Jackrabbit products. So whether you're Jackrabbit Class, Jackrabbit Dance, Swim, all of those support reps are a part of Urena's team. I also have Tracy Franklin here. I just condensed her title to ePayments expert, but her unofficial title is Chargeback Queen, and we're going to talk about that shortly because she has done a really good job of sitting on that throne. And then last but certainly not least, we have Paige Saya. I did have to ask her to make sure I pronounced her name correctly, but she is the owner of Dance Attitudes of Marlboro. And I believe, if I remember correctly, you told me you've been in business for 32 years, which is absolutely exciting and fantastic. She's here as a representative, as a client who's been through the process of switching to Jackrabbit Pay. So she's going to be giving that client point of view. And if you haven't met Paige, one thing I have noticed is she gives it to you straight, and I love it. So feel free to.
I don't know how I get that reputation in the first 5 minutes.
I have it too, Paige. I don't know. It's a blessing and a curse.
I love it. I
Always,
love it.
but yeah, it
Us
happens
Southern
within
people,
3 minutes.
we have a little bit, we kind of beat around the bush sometimes. So I appreciate the openness. And then if you haven't met me, I'm Amber. I'm today's host and moderator for this fantastic group. And I'm just going to jump into actually, just kidding. Before we jump into the crowdsourced questions, I do want to just give some insights into the evolution of Jackrabbit Pay because we do have a mixed audience. Some people know what Jackrabbit Pay is. They just don't know the benefits and the differences yet. And some people are hearing about Jackrabbit Pay for the first time. So Jackrabbit Pay was first released in 2023. And if you're wondering, why haven't I really heard much about it? We really wanted to make sure before we made a big, huge announcement and tried to get everyone to use Jackrabbit Pay that we really had the features that mattered the most, the things that were absolutely ground stakes for having a payment product and making sure that it was scalable. So, Urena, can you share why we developed Jackrabbit Pay as a payment processor option for our youth activity centers when they're already using Jackrabbit and probably processing payments?
Absolutely. So we came up with Jackrabbit Pay. For many years, we had partnerships with third-party e-payment providers, and we wanted a fully integrated solution. So when I say fully integrated, what you're going to see with Pay is more functionality that improves the payment processing directly from within the application. So you're using Jackrabbit, to process your payments, and some of the functionality that we're able to provide because we're building the other side of the house, which is the Pay platform, is a benefit, and it improves the experience. For example, the ability to surcharge, which I'm sure we'll be talking about, ACH webhook returns, which is when you process an ACH or a bank draft. If that bank draft fails because there are insufficient funds or what have you, you do get indication back with Pay that payment was failed, versus with our other providers, it's just an email. Digital wallets are coming. So, entering into that world where people can use things like Google Pay to process or use that as a payment method, which is fast and easy for people to find. In addition to functionality, Jackrabbit is a fully integrated experience too. So Jackrabbit, we're very proud of our support and the level of attention that our clients get from our support team. And so our Pay team, which Tracy is representing, is a part of that experience. And that's why we're able to also provide things like the Chargeback Assist we'll talk about. Just providing that, that integrated one-stop shop kind of partnership.
I love it. Yeah. So it was really important to us non-negotiable from the beginning, launching Jackrabbit Pay to make sure that the integration was seamless and that support was the same level or better than our general support. So as Urena touched on a little bit, we did launch Jackrabbit Pay, and initially with features, you may have heard us say next day payout or reliable payout or accelerated funding. So after and Urena, keep me honest here, after the payments batch out, then it's the next day after that. So
Your payments are initiated the next day. So
yeah.
as soon as you've batched out, Jackrabbit Pay tells your financial institution, hey, we're ready to provide you with this money. There is a difference between each person's payment provider in terms of how quickly that's processed, but from our end, we send it out the next day.
Love it. You've heard us mention a couple of times now the proactive chargeback assistance, net deposits, which is really awesome. So instead of getting all of the money and then having your processing fees taken later, what you get is has those processing fees already deducted, and then the 100% rate transparency. So really just table stakes from the beginning. And then as we moved on into Jackrabbit Pay, we released surcharging. We knew that it was really important for some people to recoup those credit card processing fees. I know it's a house divided topic, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. Reconciliation reporting, capital business financing. So being able to get loans quickly with a hassle-free application without affecting your credit, just with your processing history through Jackrabbit Pay is really powerful for business owners who maybe need to replace equipment unexpectedly, and HVAC, anything like that. And then as Urena touched on, that ACH decline visibility on the transactions tab of the family's account, being able to see that within the app and not have to do a lot of manual balancing of the account because that was declined is really awesome. So Urena, we have touched a little bit on surcharges. And that being an early feature of Jackrabbit Pay, what are some wins our clients have had since starting to surcharge?
Awesome. Surcharging has been huge for some folks, especially in terms of recouping some of the costs of their credit card processing. So just high level, surcharging with Jackrabbit Pay allows you to select a percentage up to your processing rate. So you can, match your processing rate or below. And that surcharge is attached to the transaction when the payment is processed. And, since COVID, the concept of surcharging, has become it's ballooned in the e-commerce space. I mean, you see it in DoorDash, you see it in deliveries, you see it all over the place. And so what I noticed, specifically in the last, year or so in talking about surcharging is that it seems pretty regional. Some people are really open to it. Other people are a little bit more cautious with it. And so I always recommended to clients to kind of look around at competitors or, feel it out in their area. It's a functionality that you can turn on. And then, if it's something that isn't well received, you can easily turn it off. And, it is a way to sort of recoup some of those processing fees that we know, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, those fees are high. And so this allows you to recoup some of that for sure.
Yeah. Paige, I'm curious because this is very regional and house divided topic. Is your studio surcharging, or do you have a different strategy to help with offsetting those processing fees?
My studio is surcharging. It pays my office manager's salary, what I saved. I mean, I know I have a big school, but you're talking about, saving thousands and thousands of dollars, and everywhere I go, I have to pay it. If I go to a restaurant, I have to pay it. If I go get my nails done, I have to pay it. Everywhere I go, I have to pay the 2.59%. So we just sent out an email and went to town.
All right. I like it. That's really impactful that pays your admin salary.
Wow, that's great.
Tracy, for most of our clients, it's a need or an expectation to offer online payments. So how has Jackrabbit Pay made a difference in what we're offering our youth activity center owners, just from your experience supporting our clients?
So I think Urena had kind of touched on a lot of it. And, Google Pay, Apple Pay, we heard what people were asking for. And so really just kind of keeping our ear to the ground and saying, okay, this is a payment method maybe we haven't explored yet. But Google Pay and Apple Pay were things that definitely we wanted to bring to the table. And that was something that we're getting ready to kind of offer to everyone. It's coming soon. The other thing is definitely being able to integrate, like Urena had mentioned, and having that functionality that it's seamless, our support. And then also just being able to offer the terminals. So that's something that we just recently released as well. And so being able to offer two different types of terminals. One has a printer already included in it. So these are standalone machines. You can take them to competitions. Your dance recital, you can have it away from the desk, which is really great. So I think that just listening to what people want is kind of where we've been getting, our ideas and how to improve and offer what works for everybody's business. And like Urena said, and I wanted to touch on it really quickly, was the capital business loans. We've had over 500 clients that have utilized these loans, and the average loan amount has been about $13,000. So it really speaks to people taking advantage of this opportunity and making it work for their business.
And the payback on that is really easy, right? It's an agreed upon percentage from the
Absolutely. So it comes off of all of your payments that you process. So every time you have a deposit, a certain percentage comes off to pay back that loan. You don't have to worry about making sure you have enough in your bank account to pay that loan on a certain date. It's just constantly paying it off.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. I love hearing that. Um, As Tracy and Urena have mentioned, we do have some exciting enhancements coming soon. The tap to pay terminals are available. We've been testing this out with some people before we make them widely available. But exciting to hear that we have two options there and they are wireless, so they can go with you to events and things where you can easily take payments and not have to punch in those numbers. The digital wallets with Apple Pay and Google Pay, people love being able to use those payment methods. So the work is like pretty well done. It's just getting everything finalized and hooked up. I am not a technical person, so I'm sure that it's not the right way to say it, but we get the point. And then some additional payments to help with our international clients. So EFT Pad and Interact for Canada, and then EFT POS and Pay2 for Australia. Those, from what I understand, are very equivalent to like an ACH bank draft, and are common in those areas. So all of that is coming. And a quick milestone that we are celebrating, and we're close to the next one, is over 1,400 clients are now processing with Jackrabbit Pay since our launch in 2023. We are very close to the 1,500 mark. So seeing all these great benefits, Paige, I'm just curious, what made you or your admin, what caught your eye about, hey, we need to get switched over to Jackrabbit Pay for processing?
Well, one thing you're not going to like and one thing you're going to like. You were choosing our processing. Like, we were only allowed to use certain processing people, and the amount was an exorbitant amount of money from the people you were choosing from, and I couldn't get it together. I wasn't feeling like I was whatever. And then when I really did the math and figured out, like I said, I do have a very big school, but when I did the math and I figured out what it was costing me, I was like, wait a second. So my office manager's pay basically can come out of this. If I do this, then we just made the decision to do it.
So it came down to what you could save.
Yeah.
With
I mean,
the surcharging. Mhm.
yeah, and believe me, we were definitely nervous, like, to tell everybody, but we did not have we had one parent out of 700 give us a hard time.
I think that's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
ratio.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's really why we did it.
Okay. That's great to hear. All right. So now we're going to jump into some crowdsourced questions. And I literally, up until this morning, was grabbing all of the questions that were submitted by people that registered, because we said it's a ask me anything, and we're gonna keep our word on that. A lot of the questions are kind of similar, so you're gonna notice that I kind of group them together whenever I ask the panel the questions. And some of them are a little repetitive, but it gives us an opportunity to make sure that we cover everything that's asked by each individual. So Tracy, I'm going to start off with you. Christina and Daniel both kind of asked the same question. With Jackrabbit Pay, is auto pay an option for parents? Are you able to set up monthly drafts?
Absolutely. So in Jackrabbit class itself, you have the ability to schedule your automated ePayments. So with Jackrabbit Pay, it kind of, because it's integrated, the functionality is already there. You just need to figure out when you'd like to process those payments, and we can definitely help with setting up those auto drafts. I think you're frozen.
So if anybody had any questions about auto drafting, certainly they should reach out to the ePayments team and they can walk through that. Easy to do.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. You froze for a bit there, Amber.
I did. I
You
couldn't
did.
tell if it was me or someone else, but I just got the notification my internet was unstable.
That you were frozen. So
Yeah,
we got you. Yeah.
We're live. It's what happens. All right, Irina, the next one for you, Jackie and Elizabeth, aka Libby, asked the questions. What are the details about switching? How difficult is it to switch over? And then Abby also kind of had more of a thought, but a similar type of question as she's looking to switch in January. So can you talk us through what that is like?
Absolutely. I've experienced with this firsthand. So we have converted almost 1,000 clients over from a previous processor to Jackrabbit Pay. And so, we can work with you on a schedule as to when that works best for you. That's how we do it. So we partner with you. You give us a go live date, and, we take care of the back end and help you prep on the front end. And so for most of it, what it means, in terms of transitioning over, most of our processing partners do not provide your vaults or the credit card information that's within your Jackrabbit database. One of our providers, you can purchase them, but the majority of people don't want to pay that money to, convert their credit cards over. And so what we did is we made it very easy for parents to input their credit card information. So it looks something similar to, hey, families, we are, switching out our payment processor. As a result, please log in here to the parent portal. When they log into the parent portal, boom, it's the first thing that they're asked for is please update your credit card. So the system knows that there's no credit card on file, and it will ask the families to enter a credit card information there. So speaking honestly, I'm not going to say that there haven't been a few bumpy ones, but for the majority, it's been really pretty easy. And that transition has been scary for clients, but the results were great. I don't know if Paige had a personal experience on that or not.
I was going to ask her if she wanted to share anything about her experience.
Okay. The first thing I'm going to say is you got to be as honest as possible with your parents. Like, where we sent an email like, we are going to change over. We are starting this something new. There could be some bumps in the road. Please, come to us with any questions or concerns. Everybody's always scared to ask their parents to come to them, but they need to. We did it where we told everybody it was going to be the week. We started registration. So we asked everybody to make sure that all of their recital things and all things from the year before were done and paid for, because we gave them very fair warning. We gave them 60 days notice, 30 days notice, 2 weeks notice before we were going to do it, so that they had full knowledge that this is going to happen and whatever. We made sure in the email that we sent out that if they understood that if they paid by check, which nobody does, but or if they did an ACH draft, they would not have to pay the 2.59%. So we are giving you have to make sure that when you tell those parents, you have to make sure you say to them, you don't have to pay this 2.59%. if you do not want to. We're not forcing anybody to do it. If you would like to put in your bank account information, you never have to pay the extra fee. That was a big, that, as long as you make that clear, the switch over is very easy. I would say don't do it, either do it January 1 or do it right after your recital. Do not do it any other time, because those are the only 2 times I would recommend. I told them that I'm gonna give you the 1 sense of bad news. If you know me, you know I don't hold back. The only thing that's annoying is that if they use a debit card, you are paying the 2.59%.
Yeah.
Right. So debit cards legally, we are not allowed to surcharge. That's not something that we implemented. That's the financial regulations that say you're not allowed to surcharge a debit card. So Paige is absolutely correct. If a parent uses a debit card, that is not surcharged, whereas if they use a Visa or MasterCard, it is.
Right,
Yeah.
so we had, like, the first few months, we looked at it, we saw who we were getting the extra 2.59%. We sent emails to them saying, hey, would you mind putting in your bank account number instead, so that, we were very honest, so that we're not paying the 2.59%. That
That's
is
a
why
really great solution, Paige. I really like that. I'm going to use that.
Oh, no
That's
problem.
awesome.
We sent out an email to all of them. Did everybody do it? No.
No.
But a lot of people did transfer over for us. And the ones who did, I actually sent them like a little gift card to the store, like, thank you so much. This really benefited us. When I'm asking for something, most of them will do it. Like if the office manager asks, they're like, yeah, I'll ignore that email. But all of you people also who do the auto pay option, where you just set it up for the first of the month, Jackrabbit probably doesn't want to hear that. We actually, a lot of that we don't do. We do push the 1 button and charge, but like we send statements for all drop-ins and store and all those things every Wednesday, and then every Friday we push the button and charge whoever has a balance. So we don't have it set up that way because we want everybody to, we do it more than once a month. So it's a little more complicated for us. But otherwise the switchover was very easy. My office, I told them that I was going to say this too. I'm not in charge of this, like, at all. I was in charge of the decision. I read all the emails, but my office manager met with, if you tell me somebody's name, I'll tell you, but she was amazing. And she met with her a couple of times. They've ironed out all the details, and we just said, we want to start this date. But we gave ourselves a good 90 days to like wrap our brains around it. And we gave our parents 60. So for those of you who are thinking about it, we did do that. And we were going to do it in January. And then we decided maybe we should wait until the new year, so we're not shocking anybody. But I will say, don't do it for just new customers and then not new customers. People who want to do that might be out of their minds because it's too complicated.
Yes. Don't make it complicated on yourself. It's
Yeah,
not worth
just turn it all over at one time.
I love live advice. It's awesome.
I know, it's awesome.
So I
right.
just wanted to quickly speak to the technical process, because I think some of that might need to be answered about how easy it is to switch over. So basically you have a phone call with us. We discuss your processing history, kind of what your needs are, address any questions that you have. And then if you're ready to move forward after we send you your quote, then it's just filling out the application, which is 3 sections. So it's really painless and quick if you're on top of filling out your application. And then from there, it's just, we send you documents and can get you set up.
Yeah, it was very easy. I will say I am one of those people who my bank is not, I am Bank of America, and it does take me to get 2 days. But I just know in advance it's going to take me 2 days.
Yeah, that's a good point. All banks are a little bit different, so.
But I mean, if I do it on Wednesday, I get it on Friday morning, it's in my account. Thursday at midnight, I guess it's in my account, but I don't look at it till Friday morning.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for that insight. I'm sure our attendees are appreciating the detail and transparency. Moving on, Tracy, Kat submitted the question, well, really a statement, but we can turn it into a question. So looking for all the ways to work as efficiently as possible. So have you seen anything in particular with Jackrabbit Pay that's helped our clients be more efficient?
I think the surcharging really is something that people don't have to look at their tuition as much as before, where they're trying to keep up with the processing rates. How much am I paying? It just allows them to kind of sit back and say, I know I'm going to collect the processing fees. I don't have to worry so much about that. And then as far as anything else, I mentioned capital that allows people to work efficiently when emergencies come up, like you mentioned. Specifically, Jackrabbit Pay,
Well,
I can't
the
really...
new terminals being mobile. So take them to your recitals, take
Yes.
them to your competitions. That's going to be a huge game changer. Good grief. I think we only had the insert your card before. These are now tap machines. So that's going to be great. Google Pay, Apple Pay coming. So those are great ones. And then Tracy, what do you think about the reconciliation process with the net deposits and the reporting found within Pay?
Absolutely. So the reports found in Jackrabbit Pay will break down for you how much your processing fees are. It allows people who use things like QuickBooks or other kind of software for managing their accounts. It allows you to input that information. So it's very clear, very concise. There's 3 different types of reports to look at. So you can look daily, you can look monthly, and you can look at your deposit reports. So it's very transparent.
Extremely granular. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, good for you.
The only thing I'm going to add, sorry,
No,
is
you're good.
We love it when you add stuff, eh?
sorry. No, my lunch order is telling me it's here. The only thing I'm going to add is that my accountant loved that only the money that was our money was in our account, rather than pulling out from the revenue what had to
So the
get
net deposit versus the
and
full.
also
Yeah.
when you talk to your accountant in your state and whatever, but you're looking at how much revenue is coming in every month. You're saying to yourself, this is how much revenue is coming in. And then that's really not what revenue is coming in, because you're giving away 2% of it every time it's coming in. So
with our other processors, that happens at the end of the month versus with Jackrabbit Pay, it's every day.
right. So for every $1,000, if like whatever it is, $20 or whatever it ends up being is coming out, it's coming out. And so
Yep.
you're actually looking at it and saying, oh, I had $100,000 come in this month, but no, you didn't.
Right.
Well, my accountant really did love that part of it.
Yay.
That's a good one that I think doesn't necessarily get as much highlighting as it should. But thinking of efficiency, Tracy, what about this chargeback thing? Like, how is that more efficient for our clients?
You basically don't have to do anything. So I, as a chargeback
Queen.
I go into your database and I gather all the evidence needed. If I find that there's anything that's questionable, I'll reach out to you. I have a few people that have requested phone calls versus emails, but typically I can get what I need. I message you, prior to it being due, obviously, and try and gather any additional information. I'm very transparent if I feel like I'm looking at the evidence not being enough to defend. And I have a lot of chargebacks under my belt that
What's your win rate right now, Tracy?
I think it was 87% the last time.
I looked, it was 86 this morning. So that means that Tracy and her team are winning 86% of the chargebacks for you, which means that you're getting that money back.
That's incredible.
So that's amazing.
I'd say that makes them more efficient.
Money in your pocket.
All right, Irina, this one's from Barbara. She wants to know more about Jackrabbit Pay, which is obviously why we're here. We've covered a lot, but is there anything in particular that we haven't talked about yet, or something you want to reiterate before we jump into more questions?
I feel like we've covered a lot of it. I don't want to be repetitive and take up too much time. I would just encourage anybody that's curious, It's just a phone call with the team. I mean, to ask, hey, how would this look? We're so lucky to have Paige here and give the client perspective, because that's difficult for us. So we can absolutely connect you with other people that are using Pay. But I would just schedule a call with the team to go through, some of the functionality differences. They can show it to you if you're a visual person. But high level, just the integrated support and chargeback. I mean, 86% is a high number. So there's money in your pocket there. The surcharging, money in your pocket there. Capital loans, I mean, that's a really easy, handy way to get that short-term funding. The Google Pay, Apple Wallet's coming, and the terminal coming. I mean, so much more is going to be added because now we have control over that development.
Absolutely. My sidekick Molly is on here, and we've made the unofficial tagline of Jackrabbit Pay, looking out for the owner's bottom line, because of all of these features that are really making sure that while payment processing does have a cost and it is an expense, that we can help you save as much as possible. All right, we're on to more questions. So Tracy, this one was submitted by Suzanne. Is there a monthly fee to use Jackrabbit Pay? And Ethan had a similar question about the processing fee application.
Perfect. So our flat rate plans do not have a monthly fee to use Jackrabbit Pay. We're per use. So there are fees that occur from time to time that are calculated monthly, such as chargebacks, because we don't necessarily know how many until the end of the month. But there is no monthly fee, and that's for our flat rate plans. Processing fee application, I'm not sure if that's just asking about what kind of our processing fee rates are, but we start at 2.89% depending on your processing history. And just taking a look at that, everything is kind of individualized to each person applying.
Yeah, there's no flat rate fee to have an account with Jackrabbit Pay, similar to how some of the other processes have done it.
The only thing is that there's a per transaction fee.
Correct. So in addition to the percentage, you're paying per transaction the same rate that you're paying with other processors, which is the 30 cents per.
Yep. Good point.
Yeah, I just want to make sure they know that.
No, that's absolutely. No. And I mean, there's a chargeback fee, $25 that we're charged that. We don't, so these are the fees that we are getting. So thank you, Paige. That's great.
I have heard, though, that the Pay team does a good job of, really giving the entire fee schedule of this is this, this is this. So that is definitely good context to have. So, Urena, submitted by Nathan, what are the benefits to current payment processor used within Jackrabbit? Maybe what are the benefits against the other payment processors?
So I feel like so everybody's so curious with the same thing, and it's so great. It's awesome. No, I mean, high level, just again, full rate transparency. So, even if you provided your statements and you wanted to see a comparison with Jackrabbit Pay, we can do that. I mean, and that's a great starting point, kind of like your cable company, right? So the full rate transparency, the one-stop shop support, same support with Jackrabbit. Surcharging and chargebacks, those directly impact your bottom line in terms of recouping costs. Then within the system and the functionality, on I mentioned it very briefly earlier, but on the line-by-line transaction information, when you're doing bank drafts, having that, received back into the application, if it fails, that saves a process. You're not having to look for an email. You're not missing an email. Sadly, I've had people miss that email and had no idea that, there was a chargeback done. So that type of integration and tight-knit piece, I think, just to summarize it, is the big advantage.
Yeah. A lot of these questions after that are very, very similar, just worded differently. So we won't beat a dead horse with those. But if you are having any follow-up questions on anything we've said or haven't mentioned, please feel free to drop that in the chat or the Q&A.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with that.
Honestly, they send you a statement every single day of what goes in and what comes out. Not that I look at mine. And also they send one once a month. And the one that comes in once a month, we actually do look at and make sure that there's nothing weird like a like that we missed one of the pushback.
Chargebacks or something like that.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's great news.
But I don't do it. Again, somebody else does. But yes, somebody looks at it every month and says, oh, we missed this. It would be
Yeah.
really great if the chargeback went right back into their accounts, guys. Just feedback.
I think there is some chargeback improvements coming. So I don't know if that specifically is. Yeah.
They're already released actually. So chargebacks are automatically recorded in your database. They come up as a refund chargeback for credit cards. And then through the entire process. So if it gets reversed, it gets updated and shows that the chargeback was reversed and goes into your account and shows up in your reports as it coming back into your account.
That's fantastic, Tracy. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's great.
Look at Tracy just teaching us all something.
That's why she's the queen. She's missing her tiara today.
Yeah. I'm gonna get her one, and it's gonna have money coming out of it.
Big C, chargebacks.
All right, Tracy, this one was submitted by Jennifer. We've covered some of it, but I want to make sure we cover the last of it. So is this the same as I currently have, same fees, etc.? Is there a QuickBooks integration? So that's the piece that we probably haven't touched on as much.
Okay. Not necessarily the same as you currently have. You still have all the same abilities within Jackrabbit class. So in your database, as far as where you process your payments, not necessarily how, because we're going to be offering some payment methods that aren't available with our other partners. Fees, again, those depend on your processing history and it's individual. It may be the same, it may be less. But we offer surcharging. So again, that's something that we offer that they don't. The QuickBooks integration, yes, Jackrabbit itself has a QuickBooks integration, and there is and Linda would be the best person for this, but the QuickBooks, there is an additional step for that integration just to account for, I believe, the processing fees. But she knows more about that, and if you have questions, you can just reach out to our QuickBooks experts, and they will absolutely help you with the integration with Jackrabbit Pay, but those things are absolutely there.
Very good.
You can also just take your monthly statement and make sure it equals what you think it equals and just put it in the one time a month your deposit.
That would be the easy way.
That might be the extra step.
And then if something's missing, that's when you know.
Yeah.
But you don't have to put in, I mean, and hopefully you're not running your business where every month you have to worry about whether every day the money is in. And so you can just not look at your QuickBooks except for one time a month.
Yes.
I'm hoping with all my heart and soul.
That goes with that efficiency piece, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Irina, this one was submitted by Sonia. Is there a report I can run prior to running payments that will show me everyone's balance already totaled for each student rather than listing tuition per class?
The answer to that is yes. I mean, you can use your revenue reports with the family detail activated aged accounts report, Tracy, yes. So within Jackrabbit, our financial reporting is pretty darn strong. And then as we mentioned, within the pay terminal, the reporting that you can download there is extremely detailed per transaction as well. If you have questions about reconciling, about which is the best report to use, please schedule a call with our support team. I mean, Jackrabbit offers a lot of ways to do things that, match workflows specific to your business. And so by all means, please schedule a time to chat with support and say, this is what I'm hoping to accomplish. And they'll do it with you. They'll share the screen and do it with you.
Yes, the plug for support. They
I'm
are
sorry.
there and happy to help. No,
I'm a little
I love
proud
it.
over here. I'm
No,
just teasing.
they are the best. So please reach out to them. So it wouldn't be an Ask Me Anything if we didn't ask something that is about split billing. And I said I would graciously take this one.
It's a house divided, Amber.
Yeah, no, we're just being controversial over here today. So the question is, why can't there be a split payment for parents that have a split home instead of the students having two accounts? And this is a very, very great question. It's something that we've heard a lot. And this gives us the opportunity to just tell you where we currently sit on this right now. So we have decided not to build split billing functionality for divorced families at this time. And that decision is very thoughtful and based on two key factors. So, first, we want to make sure that we're protecting our centers from becoming involved in sensitive family disputes that can create complexity and liability, and it just gets a little hairy. But secondly, we are very strategically focused on our development resources, looking at features that drive measurable growth and revenue across our entire client base. So, doing things with events, improving camp management, improving birthday parties because that's a revenue generator, making sure there are flexible enrollment options like drop-ins and promo codes. So, right now, having a single billing account per family keeps processes clear and allows your team to focus on what you do best, which is delivering exceptional programs for our youth. So, it doesn't mean that our stance won't change at some point, but that is where we sit today with our roadmap.
I'm just wondering, I don't know if the person is on here, but I have plenty of them and we just have 2 accounts and we don't have the kids. We have the kids, like, they have an account, they're registered for the class, so both parents get both emails. We know which parents pay for dancewear and which parents whatever, and we split the tuition if it's, as weird as 47.53, that's how the tuition is split up.
Wow.
And then we're never fighting with the parents about them not getting the information or getting the information because everybody's on it. And when they're married to a new person, that person is on their account. So I just want to say, just go for broke and do the 2 accounts and then take them out of your student account.
Do you use like a fixed fee or something to make sure that they get charged or
We
how?
do for that, we
Yeah.
use a fixed fee for those people. Like, we
Okay.
know what their billing is gonna be, and we use a fixed fee, and then we put in the notes, like, this parent pays for stuff in the store, this parent pays for costume deposits, this parent pays for competition, because we have so many that are so all over the place. So as soon as they type in a last name, if they see that it has multiple accounts with different children's first names, because we have plenty of the same last name people,
Yeah.
but we have those accounts marked anyway. And
Mhm.
so I would just say it's okay to have them have 2 accounts. It actually, it makes our life easier to not be in the middle of it that way.
Yeah. I mean, that
That's
is
the
the
house
hard part
divided
about it.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for as many people that ask for us to do it, there are just as many, if not more, that say, please don't. So, it is just one of those things where at this time, that is the stance. But, our stance changed on surcharges within a few years. So you never know. But right now, our focus is on ways to help you build your business and grow your revenue. So hopefully that answers that question. All right, Tracy, this one was submitted by Melissa. It's related, but not exactly. Um, how do you handle a divorced family where both parents sign into the portal and want to use ePay to pay their portion?
It's a very sticky kind of situation, only because people that sign into the portal can see the payment information that is in there. So they could go in and instead of using their own card, they could process using the other families. Um, it's not recommended. We recommend having those 2 accounts so that way there's no, my ex-wife used my card. She wasn't allowed to do that. It creates scenarios for chargebacks, all sorts of things, because we all know that sometimes with divorce, there's a lot of spite involved. So, like you said, it's just best to kind of stay out of the middle, have those 2 separate accounts, like Paige said, and just really stay out of it and allow them to pay that way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend sharing a portal.
10 out of 10 do not recommend. All right, I'm going to take another hard one. So this one was submitted by Holly. Her question is, I am looking into it, meaning Jackrabbit Pay, and know nothing. We have used SafeSave for years and are thinking about switching. I'm wondering if or how the recent outages and slow response times with Jackrabbit would impact Jackrabbit Pay. And Holly, this is a completely valid question. So thank you for asking this and allowing us to address any concerns or fears that people may have. The outages we've had lately are definitely not the norm. And I can tell you that as we are on this webinar right now, there are people in meetings having conversations and solutioning, and we will be giving those updates as we have them. But to answer your question, if class is down, the ability to take payments from any processor, whether it's Jackrabbit Pay or our two third parties, if you can't access Jackrabbit or the parent portal, then no payment can be made. However, we can say with Jackrabbit Pay, the other benefits that come with Jackrabbit Pay through your console are not affected. Your fraud protection, your reporting, your net deposits, all of that is going to continue on as it should, uninterrupted. And also want to point out with Jackrabbit Pay, you are working with one team who can own the process and ensure that there's as little disruption as possible. Whereas when it's a third party, we don't have a lot of control. Sometimes we don't have a lot of insight. And then sometimes there's a little bit of this going on. So with Jackrabbit Pay and working with one company, one support team, you really do have a streamlined and efficient solution to that. So thank you, Holly, for asking that question. And hopefully that gives you all reassurance that while if the class product is down, unfortunately, no payments are being processed, but there are benefits to having Jackrabbit Pay in other ways if there is some kind of outage. Irina, would you add anything to that?
No, I think that's absolutely accurate. I mean, I can rest assured that conversations are happening imminently as we speak related to class and the problems that the last couple of days have brought. But Pay is, a standalone product from that, fully integrated. So, that part is safe for sure. Yeah.
Also, I'm just going to add in, try to make your front desk not take payments. Should be automated, and then they don't have to take payments, and then you don't have to worry about it. The only thing you're looking up in a Jackrabbit is where that kid's supposed to be at that time when the father walks in and doesn't know where the hell they're supposed to be.
Who do you have doing the payments? Paige,
My office
only
manager
your
does
office
it.
folk. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
she's the only person. I mean, my store person takes payments in the store. So actually, I'm
Sure.
very excited about the new terminals.
Yeah.
And I would love to be able to bring it to the recital, all those things.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But I'm just saying, like, we try very hard to not take payments up at the front desk, and because it just makes it hard, like it just makes it busier.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, I guess, goes along with why you do your processing on Fridays.
Yeah, we
Just
kind of
that.
warn everybody, like, if you owe us money, you're going to know on Wednesday, and we're going to charge you on Friday.
I love it.
And then really most people get charged once a month. But
Yeah.
like if a competition fee comes up or you buy something, and even some people buy it in the store and we just put it on their account and then we charge them on Friday. Like, if we do a Google form for merchandise and we say, this is what we're selling and please pick your sizes, we'll charge their accounts and then we'll just send them the statement and then charge their accounts. The less people you have in there, the better off you are anyway, people.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to financials, that gets a little scary. All right, so we got through all of our questions. I'm just going to fly through these next two just to round us out. So surcharging, about 1/3 of our Jackrabbit Pay clients are utilizing surcharges. So it's definitely something that is very common, if that gives you any peace of mind or assurance that it's something that you can do. Tracy, from a support perspective, how does your team help clients get started with surcharging when this is something new that they need to introduce to parents?
So the first thing that we do is we provide the surcharge information, which kind of breaks down what it looks like from the back end perspective for you as our client that has surcharging. Then we also provide an email template with some verbiage to kind of explain the process. And I think Paige really nailed it when she said that she did follow-ups, letting people know, and then offering, another solution when she was finding that there was a lot of people with debit which again, I'm going to use that. I'm going to take that to my team and I'm going to say, this is a great solution for the people that come back saying, I notice a lot of people are using debits. So we're just really there guiding them along the way with the next steps. It's as easy for us to just, you agree to the terms, we turn it on for you. It starts either immediately or we can schedule it. You know, if you want it to start January 1st and say it's, you know, mid-October, we can do that for you and set it ahead of time. So that way you have given everybody advance notice.
Awesome.
It's not as scary as it seems.
It really isn't. And I've heard that from a lot of people. So,
I mean, and I was scared.
you don't strike me as the type that gets scared.
Oh no, I don't get scared, but I didn't want to fight. Like I didn't want to have the pushback. So
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
you know, because they're going to come to the owner.
Oh,
For as
yeah.
much as I push people away to other people, they're going to come to the owner.
Yeah.
So
that.
I didn't want to have the pushback, but I really just fought with one father.
That's
Not
great.
too bad.
Yeah.
And on the note of chargebacks, we have found that small businesses can expect to lose 2/3 of all chargebacks unless you're a Jackrabbit Pay client. Then there's a good chance you're going to win. So if you scan this QR code, it will take you to a case study on how one of our clients actually increased their individual win back rate by 95% by moving to Jackrabbit Pay.
Is it a true statement that there are things that the client can do to improve their chargeback win rate as well? And those are a great conversation to have with your team.
Absolutely. So I usually, if I'm noticing some significant gaps when I'm gathering evidence, I will send recommendations. For example, if someone doesn't have a strong payment policy that includes, you know, your refund policy, your withdrawal policy, anything that kind of covers, I want to say covers your butt, for most of the reasons people submit chargebacks, which the most common one I've seen is canceled reoccurring. So it's people saying that they canceled when really they didn't submit a cancellation and they just don't want to pay anymore. So we cover that when we're in there gathering evidence, but definitely having a conversation with us to kind of go over and look in your database to see if there's anything. Another huge one is if you're entering the card for families, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but there's a bunch of other things that line up with that. We'd prefer you have your parents go into the parent portal and then enter the card themselves. They're able to enter the CVV. It shows that they entered it from the portal, and it just shows that they initiated that transaction.
And this is why she's the chargeback queen. I mean,
I have a question.
I see a chat.
Sorry.
No,
I mean, you have
please
me
go
on the
ahead.
phone. I might as well. When you're saying chargeback, you're not saying people who just got declined. You're talking about people who actually argue it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised so many people have that, to be honest, because you're going to tell their kids they can't come anymore.
Yeah, well, I think in my experience, it's been people that have left and they didn't do the right cancellation policy. And so then they just submit a chargeback instead of just telling the
Yeah.
organization.
I mean, I get it for my recital tickets and
Yeah.
stuff where people like are like, we didn't go and stuff like that. But oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day, guys.
There was a question about if there was a template that we could share
Yeah.
with parents announcing the changeover.
Yeah.
I responded in the chat that it absolutely exists. I don't remember the name of it. Tracy, do you?
Yeah, I was going to put these QR codes up for everybody and then
Thank
get
you.
back to that,
Okay.
that people had time to scan. So I will leave these QR codes up here. The one on the left, if you are not with Jackrabbit and you are ready to make managing classes and payments easier and get a 2-for-1, you can scan on the left and schedule a demo with our team. And then if you are already a Jackrabbit client and you have any questions or you're ready to make the move over, you can schedule that discovery call with our team. So now I'm going to hop in the chat. Autumn, would Jackrabbit be able to provide templates we could share with parents announcing the changeover to Jackrabbit Pay and the decision? Yes, there are some Molly, there are some in our resources on the website, and then there
But
may
there's
be
also
some
email
actually
templates.
in Jackrabbit. I would go into email templates in Jackrabbit and search either for pay or surcharges and see if that comes up.
And if you chatted to support, they could find out what the numbers are. They're numbered. I don't recall the number.
Dana asked, on Jackrabbit Pay, can we select the particular charges that we want to auto pay? Example, can we only do tuition, store items, and not charge for comp fees?
Absolutely. So you can select that as the category 1 that you're wanting to set up the automation for. A lot of people set up different times. So for example, if you collect payments on the 1st for your tuition, you can set up an automated task for your tuition to run on the 1st. If you collect your recital fees, you've posted them, but you don't want to collect them until, say, the 15th of the month, you can set that up as a one-time occurrence that's automated to process only those fees on the 15th of the month. So it's very flexible in how you set up those automated tasks. And you can have, I don't even know if there's an amount exactly you can have as a cap. I've seen people with more than 10, so I know for sure you can do more than 10.
And then we're going to squeeze one more in because we're right at time. Jennifer asked, we currently only accept credit/debit cards and run cards 2 times per month. Does the process change when credit cards decline? Are there additional steps if you have people set up ACH and credit/debit cards both?
That's a big one. Hold on.
I think I need to read that. So just one second.
Credit card, debit cards are run. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to credit
When
debit
a
cards are
credit
run.
card declines, it comes up the same way it used to. I'm gonna just answer.
Yeah.
Credit card declines, it comes up the same way that it used to
Debit card,
decline.
yeah.
Like when you do the big thing, it'll say on the top or it'll be colored, the
Mhm.
ones that declined, and it'll still be in their accounts that it declined.
Yeah.
And then for an ACH, it's exactly the same thing. Like if you went into the person's account, you get an email for ACH that says this amount went through, and then it came back out because the person didn't have the money in their checking account. So you get
It will
that was-
show on the transactions now, but it's not immediate. It's
right,
however
but
you
that
make
was
it.
what I was asking Tracy when I said, I
Okay.
wish that went right back into their account.
Got it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
as when they, because I mean maybe I have 2 a month, but 2 people a month, they don't have the money in their checking account, and it bounces
Yes.
back to me, and then I have to recharge their accounts. But I get an email the minute they don't have the money in the account, and then I just recharge their accounts. We send an email, we tell them blah 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 blah. We charge them the fee for it not having the money in the account, and just like a bounce check. To me, it's exactly the same as a bounce check. When somebody bounces a check, I used to get an email or a letter in the mail with the fake copy of the check. Now I get an email saying whatever, but it's exactly the same thing as what it used to be if you're already using a processing service. Nothing
And I
has
think
changed.
the other half of that question, having both, you select what e-payment method you're going to be using on the family record. So the family can choose whether that's going to be the primary or not, and they can choose which one is going to be used on a regular basis. So whether it's your bank account or it's credit card, it has to be selected as to which one they're actually going to process the payment from. And then it works just like Paige said. It's either ACH or it's credit card. Credit cards are automatic declines that you see right away, whether it's on the family record or in your report from your batch processing. And ACH payments, we save 5 to 10 business days. Sometimes they come back a little bit sooner than that. You get the automated notification letting you know, and the payment is updated on the family record if it failed.
They definitely do come back quicker than 5 days. And even though Tracy doesn't want to say that because she probably doesn't want to tell you something that maybe isn't true, but it does come back right away. And I also just want to say that that's why we send statements, so that if people have a checking account in there and a credit card in there, if we send the statement on Wednesday and they want to switch which one they want to use, they just go right into their portal and switch it for the debit that's going to come out on the Friday. Also, if you have the app, once we send statements, a lot of people just go in and pay their bill themselves.
Yep.
And then we have a list of people who are we call them do not charge people. And those people are just ousted from my list of automatic charges. And then we find on the 15th, if they're not paid, then we reach out to them. But we do have people who do it themselves. They go into the app, they pay their bill themselves. They don't want us to auto charge them.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a phenomenal panel.
What great questions. Thank you.
I know the crowd had great questions. Before and during. I really thank you guys for showing up and submitting those questions. We're going to try to do this monthly on the second Tuesday of every month. So it's going to be different every time because the questions are going to be different every time. But thank you for joining us today, and we will send out the recording to you later this week, and enjoy the rest of your second week of September. How did we
Thank you, everybody. It was awesome.
Thank you.
See you.